Very good morning, students. Today we are going to study another new topic, that is human endocrine glands. When you concentrate on this topic, human endocrine gland, you have to understand what this endocrine gland is. Now, in human being, there are two type of glands are present. The number one is the exocrine gland, and the second one is the endocrine gland. So there are two types of glands are located. One is called the exocrine gland and another one is called the endocrine gland. Now these all two glands are found in all the animals, especially it is also present in the human beings. Okay, now these kind of endocrine glands, then now what is the difference between the exocrine and the endocrinous? A very important similarity, dissimilarity is always this exocrine gland will have ducts. Ducts means tubes to carry the substances from one organ to the another organ. So exocrine gland will have the ducts, that means tubes to be carried out. For an example, in our salivary gland, so salivary gland secretes saliva. So the salivary gland is an exocrine gland. Exocrine gland means the salivary gland is produced and its secretions are transported through the ducts to the various organs. Now this is what the role of the example for the exocrine gland, that is the salivary gland. And the second gland here, it is the sweat gland. It is also one of the exocrine glands, and the third one is the mammary glands, milk producing glands. So all these glands are called exocrine gland. Why? Because they has a special duct or tubes to carry their substances from one part to the another part in the body. Okay, and the endocrine glands they don't have this ducts. So this endocrine gland, there is no tubes to be carried out. So there is no ducts. So that means if there is no duct, how the substances are carried? The substances that is synthesized or secreted by the endocrine glands are the hormones. These are the substances which is secreted by the endocrine glands. Now, the salivary gland secretes saliva, sweat gland secretes sweat, and mammary gland secretes milk. Likewise, the endocrine gland secretes hormones. So these hormones are secreted from various endocrine glands in our body, and these hormones are carried not by the ducts, because there is no ducts to be carried. So that means how these hormones are carried from one part of the body to the another, in the sense these hormones are carried through the blood. So the hormone will always mixes in the blood. After mixing in the blood, it is being carried out to the different parts of the body. Okay, right. So this endocrine gland, since they don't have duct, these glands are called ductless glands. Ductless glands. Okay. So now the hormone, how it is being produced? So now the hormone production is always very little. So it is only a minute quality of the hormones only is produced in our body. But though it is producing a very minute amount of hormones or minute quantities of hormone, but the role playing is very vital. So what are the role it plays? It does all the physiological process. So all this physiological process are carried out by the hormones. Okay. So far what we are learning is, we are learning about the human endocrine gland. So we are just going through the function, the basic concepts regarding this human endocrine glands. So before we could start this endocrine gland, we are discussing about the glands in our body. There are two types of glands that we have: exocrine gland and endocrine gland. The difference between this exocrine and endocrine glands are, the exocrine glands are having ducts to carry their substances from one part of the body to the another, and the examples are salivary gland, sweat gland and mammillary glands. Whereas endocrine glands, they don't have ducts, so they are called ductless gland, and they synthesize or secrete a substances called hormones, and these hormones which is secreted will always mixes in the blood, and this hormone secretion is always very minute quantities only, but the biological process or the physiological process is vital by this production of a very minute quantities of hormones. So the very important role of the hormone is involving in physiological or biological process. So this hormone which is secreted from one organ, and it is one gland, and it is being sent to their target organs. Okay, so that is an important thing regarding this exocrine and endocrine gland. In our syllabus, we are going to discuss about only this endocrine glands, and when you come for the higher secondary 11th standard, we will be discussing about this exocrine glands. Clear? Now we will discuss about the endocrine glands, human endocrine gland. Now, the science that deals with the endocrine glands are called endocrinology. So endocrinology is a study that is related to the science or the study related to the endocrine glands. And the next one, the father of this endocrinology is Thomas Edison. So Thomas Edison is the father of endocrinology. Okay. Now, the term hormones was introduced by two physiologists, that is W.M. Bayliss and E.H. Starling. So they introduced the term called hormones in the year 1909. Okay. The first hormone which is discovered by these two people, called the secretin. So this is all the basic and historical event regarding this endocrine gland. The science that deals with endocrine glands are called endocrinology, and the father of endocrinology is called Thomas Edison, and the term hormone was introduced by W.M. Bayliss and E.H. Starling in 1909, and the first hormone was discovered is called secretin. Okay, so this is the historical event regarding this endocrine gland. We will discuss about the various endocrine glands in our body, and after that each endocrine gland in detail will be discussing. Simultaneously their roles, their functions, everything they will, and then their malfunction that we will discuss. So when we discuss about the endocrine gland, there are so many endocrine glands are there. The first endocrine gland is our pituitary gland. pituitary gland is the first endocrine gland, and then we have the another different glands or the thyroid gland, and the third one is the parathyroid, and the fourth one is the pancreas, and then we have adrenal gland, and then we have gonads. Gonads means reproductive glands, testes and ovaries. Then we have thymus gland. So these many glands are there in our human body: pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid, pancreas, adrenal, gonads, and the thymus. So now in this chapter, what we are going to discuss is, we are going to discuss about individually each glands, the location, their functions. Simultaneously, if it is not functioning, what will be the malfunction of that particular glands and the hormones. Okay, so today's class we will be discussing only about the pituitary gland. In your book, page number 233, they have given all the glands in a short form, and then they are discussed each glands in detail. So what we will do is, we will take up one particular gland or two particular glands in a day. Entirely we will discuss about that. Okay, so we will not go for the first part and second part and all. If you take pituitary, we will complete everything from the pituitary and then we'll move on. Okay, so now here now we will start studying about the pituitary gland alone today, and the rest of the glands we will see it simultaneously. Okay, so now when we talk about the pituitary gland controls all the other glands in our body. So the pituitary gland is called the master gland. Pituitary gland, why it is called as the master gland means, the pituitary gland controls all other glands in the body. So all these glands, the thyroid, parathyroid, pancreas, adrenal, gonads, thymus, all these glands are controlled by the pituitary gland. So it is called the master gland. Okay, now we will talk about, today's class we will discuss about pituitary gland, and tomorrow thyroid, parathyroid, and like that. So within 2-3 days we will complete these portions. Okay, so now we will talk about the pituitary gland in detail. When we talk about the pituitary gland, the other name for pituitary gland is hypophysis. Hypophysis. So this is another name for the pituitary gland. And we know the pituitary gland is also called as the master gland. Why? Because it controls all the other glands in our body. Understand? Right. So now where it is located? The location of the pituitary gland, it is present on the base of the midbrain. It is on the base of the midbrain. Okay, right. So now the pituitary gland, if you can see the diagram part of it, it comes around like this. In the sense, it is having two different lobes. This lobe is called anterior lobe or the front part, and this is called the posterior lobe. Okay, the anterior lobe is called adenohypophysis. Adenohypophysis, and the posterior part is called neurohypophysis. This is the posterior part. Understand? Now pituitary gland, it is located on the base of the midbrain. Now pituitary gland is called master gland, but pituitary itself is controlled by a very important structure in the brain called hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus. Pituitary controls all the other glands in our body. That is why it is called master gland, we studied. But pituitary itself is controlled by hypothalamus. Okay. Now, this anterior adenohypophysis and posterior, that is neurohypophysis, will secrete different hormones. So here, this adenohypophysis secretes 6 hormones. Number 1, it is called GH, growth hormone. GH is called growth hormone. Second one, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormones. Okay. Then third one is ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Expansion will be given in your book, you can refer it. Then fourth hormone FSH and fifth hormone LH. FSH, LH, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. These two hormones belong to the reproductive part, so it is called gonadal hormones. Gonadal hormones. Okay, so it is a reproductive part. So it is called gonadal. This one is called gonadotropic. Gonadotropic hormone. I will talk what this tropic and stimulating is. Okay. Then the sixth hormone that we have here, it is called prolactin. Prolactin, milk production hormones. So these are all the 6 hormones in the adenohypophysis. In neurohypophysis, we have only 2 different hormones. Okay, only 2 hormones. Here, that the first hormone here we have ADH, antidiuretic hormone, or otherwise called as vasopressin. Okay, the second hormone here, it is called the oxytocin. So that's all. So only 2 hormones. So together, pituitary will secrete 8 hormones. But one thing that you have to understand regarding pituitary gland, all these 8 hormones are stimulating hormones. In the sense, it cannot produce hormones, but it will enter into the respective gland. For an example, the hormone which is secreted by the thyroid gland is called T3, T4, that is thyroxine hormones. T3, T4. Okay. Thyroxine. Thyroxine is an hormone. I will write it thyroxine so that you will understand. So just one example I just give you. So the hormone is called thyroxine, is produced from the pituitary gland. Okay. Sorry, not pituitary gland. Sorry. It is produced from the thyroid gland. Now, this thyroxine hormone is produced in the thyroid gland, but what is the role of the pituitary gland is, the thyroid gland cannot produce thyroxine by its own. So it needs someone to stimulate. So the pituitary gland will secrete TSH factors. TH means thyroid stimulating hormone. So this thyroid stimulating hormone will enter into the blood, goes to the thyroid gland and makes the gland to secrete an hormone called thyroxine. Okay. So that is why pituitary gland, all the hormones are called tropic hormone or stimulating hormone. Understand? So this is called stimulating hormones. Understand? Right. Now what are the role of hypothalamus? Hypothalamus will have some releasing factors. It has 2 things. Releasing factor as well as inhibiting factors. Releasement to release, inhibitment to stop. So if in the blood, so for an example, in the blood, if there is a decrease of this hormone called thyroxine, okay, in the blood, if there is a decrease of thyroxine hormone, this information will go to the pituitary gland through the blood. So what the pituitary gland will do, it will send the information to hypothalamus. Hypothalamus will send releasing factor to the pituitary. Pituitary gland will send stimulating hormone. Then stimulating hormone makes thyroid gland to produce thyroxine. So this is called the feedback mechanism. Okay. Now, if there is a hormone called thyroxine is less in the blood, this information straight away goes to the pituitary gland from the thyroid gland. So this through the thyroid gland. Who's sending? Blood is sending the information to the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland will send the information to the hypothalamus. Now what the hypothalamus will do? It will release the releasing factor, and the releasing factor will enter into pituitary gland to open this stimulating factor, and the stimulating factor will reach again the thyroid gland and it is produced. So this is called feedback mechanism, feeding back. When feedback, it is called positive feedback. Positive means if it is nothing is there, reduced, so it is making to increase. It is also having some negative feedback. Negative means when the thyroxine is increased in the blood, hormone should not go down, hormone should not increase more, otherwise you will have some problem. Hormone always should be in optimum, in an equal concentration. So if it is going less, you will have positive feedback. If it is going more, the same thing goes to pituitary gland. Pituitary gland will send the information to hypothalamus. Now hypothalamus will send inhibit factor, stopping factor, so that pituitary gland will not send this TSH. Okay, this is what the thyroxine level is maintained. Likewise, all the hormones are maintained. Thyroid, GH, growth hormones, target thyroid stimulating hormone, target organ is thyroid gland. Growth hormone, pituitary itself. ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, adrenal gland, which is on the kidney. Then FSH and LH on the reproductive parts, testis and ovary. And prolactin is also same in mammary gland and all. Okay, then these are we will discuss later. Okay, right. So now we will just discuss about the role of the pituitary gland, then their function and malfunction, and with this I'll complete. Within 10 minutes we will just complete the pituitary gland. Okay, so I hope you understand the role of the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and how it is controlling, what is feedback mechanism, what is negative feedback mechanism, everything that you might have understood. Okay, right. Now we will talk about the growth hormone, GH. Now, in short, we will call it as GH. This hormone belongs to the pituitary gland. Okay. So the role of this hormone is, it is involved in metabolic process. Metabolism. The role of the growth hormone is metabolism. Now what is that metabolism? Metabolism means breaking down of the products. So breaking down of the product means in our body, when we take food, that food is a large component, macromolecules. When we eat, the digestion is taking place with the help of the enzymes. So the digestion is nothing but this breaking down of the large component of the food particles into small components. That is what metabolism is. Here also there is a metabolism takes place due to the growth hormone. And second one is development and enlargement. Enlargement of the tissues and the cells. Why enlargement of tissues in our body? Because this is the growth hormone. So it will help our body to develop, body to grow. So it is called enlargement of the tissues. Okay. And this one, so now the whatever, and it also stimulate. Growth hormone, I already told you, whatever glands are there from the pituitary, it will stimulate only. It cannot produce the hormone, but it can stimulate. It will help to produce the other hormones. Okay, so it stimulates the growth of the muscle because it is going to involve in the growth of the body. So the growth of muscles. So body becomes enlarged because of the growth of the muscles. Okay, number one. And growth of the cartilages. Cartilages means a soft bone in our body are called cartilages. As well as it is also enlarge or stimulate the growth of the long bones. Okay, so all these are very important. So these are all the roles of the growth hormones. One is metabolism, second one enlargement of the tissues, third one is growth of the muscle, cartilages and the long bones. Okay, now suppose if this is a function of the growth hormone. Suppose if this growth hormone does not function or does not produces, in the sense malfunctioning. So what is malfunctioning? It is either secretion. See, malfunctioning of the growth hormone. Malfunction means either the hormone is increased more in secretion or less secretion. So this is what the malfunctions are. So now here, this due to this malfunctioning, there are three type of disorders we will be discussing. Not disease, actually disorders. The first one is called the dwarfism. Second one, it is gigantism. And the third one is acromegaly. Okay, so now three disorders where we will discuss due to the malfunctioning of the growth hormones. Now, the dwarfism is due to decrease of the growth hormone. Growth hormone decreases. The secretion of the growth hormone is less. And who is getting affected? Children will be getting affected. So children gets affected because of this disease. So children, if they have less growth hormone, the disease is called dwarfism. Okay. So what are the characteristics of this disease? What are the symptoms? Those children will have stunned growth. They will not have a proper growth. So stunned growth. Okay. Because growth hormone is not there. So growth will be less. At the same time, they have some mental disability. Mental disability will be there. Okay. So mental disability is a very important. And third one is the skeletal development is not developed in them. The skeletal development is not properly functioned. That means it become delayed. It is not done. So that is what the dwarfism is. Okay. So now the second one is the gigantism. The gigantism is overgrowth, over secretion. So it is over secretion of growth hormone. Here it is less secretion, but gigantism over secretion. Who is getting affected here? Again children. Children is getting affected. Their dwarfism is less secretion, gigantism is over secretion. Okay, and this very important symptoms here is, since it is growth, hormone secretion is more, growth also will be more. So you will have overgrowth of all the body tissues and organs, and they will increase in the abnormal body height. So the height is abnormal, don't forget it. Okay, so that is the gigantism. And the third one is acromegaly. Acromegaly is also due to excess secretion of the growth hormone, but here adult are getting affected. So the only disease which is affecting the adult is the acromegaly. Don't forget A for adult, you remember like this, acromegaly. Okay, right. And they will have some symptoms like abnormal enlargement of the head, face and feet. So these are all the symptoms of this growth hormone. So growth hormone, the function is they will involve in metabolism, enlargement of certain tissues, growth of the muscle, cartilages and long bone. And the malfunction is either secretion is increases or decreases. If it is increases for children, it causes overgrowth of the body and abnormal increase of the body height. If it is less in children, they will have dwarfism, they will have stunned growth, then mental disability, and the skeletal system is delayed in development. Then same if it is excess in the adult, they will have acromegaly, enlargement of head, face and feet. Okay, right. So that's all about your growth hormone. So in this class we discussed about the difference between exocrine and endocrine gland. Then we also discussed about the historical events regarding this endocrine gland. We also talked about the different glands of endocrine gland that is located in our body. Then we studied what is pituitary gland, what are all its two different types, and what are all the hormone which is secreted from the pituitary gland. Among that, today we have discussed about the growth hormone. The next class we will be discussing about two glands, thyroid and parathyroid. Okay, so thank you very much.